Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. This week, the Township survived the blizzard of 1996. Dr. John Kopko, Superintendent of Schools, talks about administration's decision to close schools this week. The Township's Director of Public Works, Mike Opaleski, tells what the road crews and employees had to do this week. And we'll see how some kids took advantage of their days off from school. All of this and more is coming up on this snowy edition of This Week in East Brunswick.
Hi, I'm Amy Fisher, and I'm the Director of Community Relations for the East Brunswick Schools. And today I'm standing outside with Dr. John Kopko, our Superintendent, and Mr. Don Hewins, our Director of Support Services. Of course, the topic on everybody's mind is the snow. Dr. Kopko, let's start with asking you how you make the decision about whether school will be open, closed, or delayed.
Well, the decision starts, Amy, really with the weather forecasts. Once the weather forecasters start predicting bad weather, we monitor those weather forecasts, 2 and 3 days ahead of time. The police department here in East Brunswick has been extremely cooperative. They either call me or I'll call them. They will actually communicate with 3 or 4 patrol cars who are patrolling the community to give me a report regarding road conditions, in the various areas of the community. The road department also contributes to that. Mr. Hewins, who is head of our support services here, has our own folks right here in East Brunswick who work on the schools reporting as well, so they all report in. In addition to that, I'm also in contact with superintendents in surrounding communities because we want to really get a feel of how road conditions are, not only in East Brunswick, but in those areas where, it's feeding right into the community of East Brunswick. So all of those are put together, in making a decision. The other thing, too, is we usually have to make that decision about 2 hours before we're ready to open, at the very latest, because the buses begin to roll, and students are out at those bus stops.
And you usually try to do it well before the 2-hour limit, I know, because you call usually around 5 in the morning whenever you can.
Absolutely. Whenever we do this, I mean, people have to understand that we really don't like to close school. But when I'm dealing with the lives of people's sons and daughters and youngsters and grandchildren, I'm extremely cautious with that. I don't like to roll the dice, and I'll never roll the dice regarding, a youngster's life, and because it's just not worth it.
Now, for example, today we're getting a lot of phone calls from people wondering why schools are still closed. Could you tell us some of the reasons?
Well, we've had a couple of phone calls where actually people have called in today and said, I don't know why you're closed today, the roads are perfect. I've traveled around this community, and I don't know what community they're living in if they seem to think the roads are perfect, or they're not understanding that we have over 7,000 students here, in fact 7,300 to be exact, many of which are transported by school buses. If you look at the secondary roads here in East Brunswick, the school buses cannot negotiate those turns at this point. Also, if you take a school bus and put it down that road, cars on either side cannot get by. I mean, it's just impossible. I think the other things that they're not taking into consideration are students need to stand somewhere waiting for school buses, and we can't very well expect them to stand, on top of this when they're waiting for buses, because it just, it aggravates an already very severe situation. I mean, the state is still in a state of emergency as well. And then the other thing is we have an awful lot of walkers, and I defy anyone to get out there and, take that central school walk route through the Merrill area or any of our other elementary schools, because a lot of people at this point, for whatever reason it might be, haven't had an opportunity, to clean their sidewalks. The other thing is we're not so different from surrounding communities. We've also heard that we're the only school that's closed, which is absolutely not correct, because Perth Amboy is closed today, Edison is closed today, Woodbridge is closed today, Sayreville is closed today, Highland Park is closed today. I mean, I can go on and on. North Brunswick is closed today. This was a very, very severe blizzard, and it's unfortunate that we've had to have school closed, but if we're going to make an error, we're going to make it on the side of safety and caution.
Well, thank you, Dr. Kopko. Now, Mr. Hewins, you're responsible for your crew of getting all the school grounds cleaned. When did they start plowing?
Well, we really start as soon as the snow starts to fall. For example, this snowfall, they started at 2 o'clock Sunday morning, and they worked around the clock until approximately 10 o'clock at night on Monday. I caught a few hours sleep, and we're back out again on Tuesday till about 10:30. The only way, at night that is, the only way we can keep ahead of this is to start bright and early and get right on it.
And you've had some equipment problems too, haven't you?
We've had the wheel sheared off of one of our trucks. We've had a truck go down. We've had 6 snow blowers break down. I mean, I can go on and on with a list of problems, but as quickly as they're down, we have outfits that'll take and repair those for us and get it back in service almost immediately.
And what's the condition of the school parking lots and sidewalks now?
Well, the school parking lots proper are down to bare blacktop at this point. We're still working on our walkways. We had to bring in 3 large front-end loaders to assist us in moving the snow. The problem is not pushing it, it's getting it up over and out of the way to get enough cars into park, to get the kids up the walkways. We just can't move the snow ourselves. We've had those 3 front-end loaders working for 2 days now for us, and we'll continue to work them on through today and probably part of tomorrow.
Well, we'll hope the weather gets better for the rest of the winter.
I'd just like to say one other thing, too. I mean, I have to commend our maintenance and custodial staff here in the school district. They've been outstanding. And the cooperation that we've received both from the police department and the road department here, I mean, I know they take their lumps, but there are certain priorities where they have to have main roads cleared first. And they've done just an outstanding job. I mean, they've gone above and beyond what could be expected. And I think sometimes, we all don't realize, how hard they really work and the frustration that they run into because they want to see all this snow gone just as much as we do.
Speaking of the traffic safety, last night at about 4 o'clock I worked with Ted Zajac from Traffic Safety. We laid out a plan of attack. He had 4 front-end loaders out there clearing all of the crossing guard walk areas. I just finished touring the town myself. Each of the problem areas I still saw out there. I've talked with him. He'll have vehicles back out there to work on those. So we really worked hand in glove on this situation.
Well, that's great. And as I said, we'll hope the weather gets better and the temperature goes up to 50 degrees next week.
One of the favorite wintertime activities is sled riding, and we found several kids at the high school taking advantage of their days off. How do you like being off from school for 4 days so far?
Well, it's not that good because I like the summer better, and we're going to miss a lot of the summer.
What do you think?
I think the same thing because we really don't get to do much on Monday and Tuesday because you couldn't even go on the road, so I wouldn't like it.
So did you go out on Wednesday and today? These are the days you went out to play in the snow?
Yeah, I went out yesterday and today.
And what did you do today and yesterday?
I went sledding a little bit yesterday, but just in my yard. And today we're doing sledding.
How about you?
I was here yesterday and I was sledding with a friend, and then today.
So the general consensus is you'd really rather be in school when there's not a whole lot to do out here, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, 1 or 2 days off is good in the winter, but I don't like to take the whole week because we miss summer.
How about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Okay, good. Thanks, guys. What do you think about the sled riding conditions, and how do you like it?
Well, it's pretty bumpy. You usually crash every time, and you get hurt a lot. It's really bumpy. He said you do crash a lot, and it's there are hills that the ramps that go off that you fly off of. It's really fun.
Did you guys create those ramps, or were they already here?
They're all right here.
Yeah. So how do you like being off from school?
I like it because I like winter more than summer, and I don't really care if we lose a little bit of summer vacation.
How about you?
I like having days off, but I'd rather have a full summer than have a
Do you think you're going to have a lot of homework when you get back to school?
Yeah, we're gonna
Hey, today is Thursday. Do you think you're going to have school tomorrow?
No. I think it's going to snow really a lot tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Okay, Mom, how does it feel for you to have the kids home for a whole week when you didn't expect it?
Well, we had it for part of the week, and it's been great. And I like the sledding because it brings back a lot of good memories from when I was a kid. Oh, sure. So that's really neat.
Have you been up here both days or just today?
Just today.
And what kind of sled riding things are you using?
The usual flyer and plastic, but I'm partial to the flyer because that's what I think works best.
Okay, have you done any other winter stuff like skiing or ice skating?
Why don't you tell me about yesterday, the fort?
Oh yeah, yesterday I went to one of my other friends' house and we built a really big fort with like big giant like snowballs.
Yeah. And so did you have a big snowball fight after you got the fort?
Well, after we got the fort, we had to go in because like we were almost freezing to death.
Even Santa takes a vacation. Ho, ho, ho.
Hey, tired from that holiday hustle? Plan your summer vacation now and save. Call 390-6797. Crystal Springs, a summer of fun close to home.
They broke the law at every turn. They had no restraint. They were rebels without a clue.
What's wrong with you guys? Oh, compound fractures, contusions.
No, I mean, why no safety belts?
It's just what dummies do.
Oh, yeah? Well, this is what I do.
Busted for not wearing safety belts.
Hey, pal, it's the law.
Police are ticketing across the nation. Buckle your safety belt.
Hello, I'm Michael J. Opaleski, Director of Public Works and Water Resources for the Township of East Brunswick. And we're doing a little update on the storm, the blizzard that just occurred. We've been looking at what has happened and what transpired and how well we have made out, and some of the problems that also were associated with the storm. In back of me is one of my supervisors, or scouts as we call them, during these blizzard conditions, and that's Mr. Robert Murray. He helps us go out and look at those areas that we may have problems or may have not clean streets, so we have an ability to direct our crews. A little bit about the storm. Unofficially, we're looking at a storm of about 32 inches of snow that has fallen. That has caused us some concern since our equipment is not really designed to handle that type of snowstorm. But we were able to get all of the streets clean by late Tuesday, early Wednesday. We do realize that many of the residents were inconvenienced, and we can apologize for that, but we do not see that this would be an occurrence that we're looking to do again. As for what has happened since the snow started on Sunday, we were working through the clock 24 hours a day, starting 11 o'clock Saturday morning when the snow first occurred. During Sunday and Monday morning when the storm intensified, complete crews were in, including our contractors. We put approximately 33 to 37 pieces of equipment on the road. Well, that may seem like a lot, but when you're dealing with 750 some streets, you can see that it takes some time for all the equipment to get on any particular street. One of the things that we heard from many people is that we never got to their street. Well, we feel that's an opinion because men such as Mr. Murray went out and did check each street as the calls were placed. And then an evaluation was done on how well the street was done and if additional work needed to be done. As for the cost, we feel that this storm is going to be the highest cost snowstorm that the township has seen. We are estimating presently in excess of $200,000 to $300,000 will be spent for repair of equipment, overtime, salt, sand, and as well as our contractors. So it was a costly storm. We're hoping with your cooperation and understanding that we can move ahead, and we're presently establishing our criteria for the storm, which is coming on Friday, which is the 12th. So we're going to be doing it all over again, and you may see me again on TV giving you another update. If you have any questions in relation to the storm or what has happened, or if there was any damage done to mailboxes or any vehicles parked in the street that may be contributed to the storm by one of our snowplows, please call the Public Works Department. One of the areas that we have most concern with during a storm of this magnitude or any storm is people leaving cars in the street. If you have an ability, please move the car to your driveway, or even if you had to park it on your lawn for a short period of time, it would help us. The other area where we are looking for assistance is the fire hydrants in town. There are over 3,700 fire hydrants in town, and we will be unable to get to them. So we are requesting that if there is a hydrant in your neighborhood, please assist us by clearing around that hydrant. That would be of great assistance if there was a fire emergency in the area. I thank you for your time.
Hi, and welcome back once again to Your Pet Doctor. I'm Dolly Vaster, your host, and my co-host is...
I'm Dr. Brian Johnson from the Cranberry Veterinary Hospital in East Brunswick.
Yes, and today we're going to discuss the cold weather, which will be coming up, and preparation for pets who are kept out in it.
Yeah, we have several categories. There's the dogs that remain outside year-round, rabbits, chickens, things of this nature. The dogs probably are the ones that get the least care when they should. The only way that they stay warm is by the food that they eat, so that they have to get a better quality and larger quantity of that food than they received during the summer. In the house, you turn your furnace on. Well, the only way they're going to stay warm is to have the adequate amount of food and a very high quality food. In their houses, they have to be protected from the rain, they have to be protected from the wind, and probably most important, they have to be protected from the ground. Most of their heat is going to be lost into the ground. So you should get them up off the ground by 2 to 4 inches, preferably with some insulation, and if they have a door to get into their house, have some type of carpet or plastic that folds over it so that the wind doesn't blow in.
What about underneath it?
Best if you put some type of insulation, not the rock wool, because they always manage to get at that. Cedar shavings, blanket if you have to, cedar shavings probably, or pine shavings would be best. This will protect them against the cold of the bottom. And just, it should not be too big. Since the body heat has to warm the house up, if you make it too big, it makes it too big for the body to heat. So it should be big enough for the dog to get into and move around, but not one that he can walk back and forth. The house is just to sleep in, really.
Is there any type of dog, seriously, that should be kept out? Because you and I have discussed this before. I don't believe in bad weather. Any animal should be kept outside. But is there any type of dog that requires being kept out?
No, there is not. As long as you accustom the dog to the surroundings. If in January you decide you want to put your dog outside, it's too late. You have to start them in August, getting used to the outside. By January, he's already developed a coat from the inside. And the converse is true. If you feel sorry for your dog mid-January, you say, I'm going to bring him into the house, he will just lay there and pant, and he'll be very, very uncomfortable because he's developed a coat to protect him against the outside. So now, and that's why we're talking about it, this is when you have to prepare for the winter.
Well, if you have to overfeed the outside dog, then do you underfeed the inside dog?
Yes, exactly, because during this time the dog is not going to be out running around as much. You're not going to be walking him as much, or at least the average person does not, and they don't get as much exercise. So this is when they tend to put on a few pounds.
Well, so it's just like us.
It's, yeah, just like us at the holiday time. And make sure you have plenty of water for the outside dog, as we discussed last week with the birds. As the water freezes, you must have water available to them. And a couple of times a day is adequate. Make sure they have housing, face the door away from the north wind, and make sure they have protection to get in out of the rain. So the ideal is some type of shelter with the house under the shelter. And yes, I would rather see the dogs inside with me. There's no question about that. But sometimes circumstances dictate that they cannot. So if that's the case, at least we'll get them so that they will have a comfortable outside.
Well, we can't ask for more than that. But if I can tell you this, take them in when it gets cold, okay? Anyway, we'll see you all next week. Take care.